So I don't know how they pulled it off, but I cried over a CGI raccoon. Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Hey everybody, it's RevKev. Welcome back to my Geek Corner. Please excuse the mess. Still organizing my Superman collection here. So last night the family and I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, written and directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt and all of the Guardian of the Galaxy ensemble. And not going to spoil this. This is just kind of some initial thoughts as I've been processing the movie. Now, I gotta say right out of the gate, this is by far the best Marvel movie to come out in a long time. Like, the entire Phase 4, this is like better than anything else that's come out. So, I really appreciated that. Like, this actually felt like the old Marvel movies again. There was like something at stake here. There was a story that was compelling. The character development was really interesting. This felt like old school MCU. Now, just a couple of, again, these are just some thoughts that have popped in my head about this. And again, I saw my Twitter feed all weekend long. So I went on Sunday night. So from Thursday to Sunday afternoon, I'm watching all this stuff go on Twitter. Everyone's like, how much they're crying and crying and crying. And the emotions of this movie cried from beginning to end. Now, I cry a lot. I keep tissue nearby all the time because I'm a sucker. I cry in everything. I cry in Kleenex commercials. Now, I shed a few tears over, the story of Rocket Raccoon and his origin, but I wasn't bawling my eyes out. So I don't know, maybe I'm a little dead inside, but I mean, it was tear-jerking and it was cute and it tugged on the heartstrings. But this wasn't like E.T. crying. Like, man, I can't even watch E.T. without just ugly crying, like over this puppet that's dying. So it didn't have that emotional punch that a whole lot of people were talking about. And not just that, but again, I don't want to spoil this, but it didn't have as big of a punch of a send-off for these characters that I was expecting. Like, if this is truly the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy as we've known them, and a lot of, the actor who plays Drax, he kind of posted his farewell on social media. That he's, was so grateful that he played this character, is never playing the character again. Like, there's all these kind of things that were hinting at kind of this big send-off to these characters. And I didn't feel it paid off in that way. It just didn't have that payout for being invested into these characters. Like in 5 films, right? The 3 Guardians movies and the 2 Infinity War and Endgame storylines. So it just felt like there could have been a little bit more of a punch there in how they ended it off. Now, from the music, I've always loved the music style of Guardians of the Galaxy. In fact, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is my second favorite MCU movie of all time after Winter Soldier. Love Guardians of the Galaxy, and part of it was the music selection. So, really loved the music again in this one. And I appreciated the artistic style of this movie, even though I didn't always like it. I had to give them credit for trying something that I personally think failed. So the Guardians go off to this base that's completely organic, and Nathan Fillion's character is there as the head security guard of this thing, and their costumes, quite frankly, for me, look terrible. Like cosplayers make better costumes than this design. Now, again, credit for trying something. I just think it was a big old flop, and I thought it looked terrible, so much so it was like, man, they got to get out of this set because it is taking me out of the movie. Because I just felt it looked that bad. And so when they finally got out of there, then it kind of picked up again. But great humor, great action, great story, a great story of friendship. But one thing I do got to say, one negative thing about the characters in this one is, man, they yell at each other a lot. And I get it, that's been part of the charm of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think they pushed that a little too far, and it was like, man, you guys have already been in 2 movies together. I get you can still have this tension and dynamic, but the constant screaming and yelling and in each other's faces and calling each other names, are like, okay, it's feeling a little childish, getting a little old. But again, that's just me. So would love to know what you thought about this down in the comment section below. Did you see it? What did you think about it? Let's chat about it. I'll talk to you later.